2-Minute Tuesdays with Thurman.
Well, hey everyone, my name is Desta Hudson and I'm in for Thurman today. And I'm really excited to get to talk to you all. When Thurman asked me to do this, I began to think, what could I talk about? And I began to pray about what God would have me say. And one thing that kept coming to mind was all the experience I've had with children. I've done a lot of different things. I've worked at camps many years. I worked in the school, in church ministry, with children and youth. Of course, I babysat when I was younger. I have children. I help with a homeschool group. And most recently, we've gotten involved with foster children. And so my heart really lies with children and teaching them God's Word. But one thing I was thinking about that I've experienced with kids is that there are really two types of kids, I feel like. There are kids who are taught obedience and kids who are not. And I've seen this through many things, but especially here at the refuge where I work in the summers. And we see kids who think they're supposed to be in charge and who don't really understand authority. And when I think about this, I get sort of sad because I think about the fact that the Bible actually asks us to teach our kids to obey. In Psalm 19:18 it says, "Discipline your children while there is hope, otherwise you will ruin their lives." My husband and I often talk about this when we see kids, even older kids in their 20s, who have a really hard time struggling in life with many different things. But I think it all goes back to whose authority do you follow? And I really think if we don't teach our children the importance of obedience, of who's in charge, that we are harming them. My husband and I have said before, it's almost like child abuse because it's so important. Because if you don't teach them to obey, then they have a hard time later on when it comes to their relationship with God. And you know, the Bible also gives us a guide for how we should teach our kids and also how our kids should obey. Ephesians 6:1 says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." So we want to teach our children. You know, it's interesting, we see a lot of kids at camp, even kids from Christian parents, and they have a really hard time thinking that they are not the ones in charge. In fact, several times during the summer, we have to say, here at the refuge, adults are in charge. And it's a really important thing that we can teach our kids, but a lot of times I think parents aren't really knowing that they're not teaching them that. I think they think they're helping their kids by letting them get and do whatever they want and not setting boundaries. And, you know, it's so important to teach them about authority. You know, I kind of think of it like this. When our kids are really, really young, we teach them the importance of the words no and stop. Because if they're running out onto the road and a car's coming, we want to be able to say stop. And we want them to be obedient enough to do it so they don't get hurt. So one thing I want to do is I really want to encourage all parents to do two things. The first thing is to read the Bible. And that is so important. There's a lot of things in the Bible that tell us how to discipline our children and how to teach them what is right. And so I really encourage that. And then the other thing is to model obeying authority. Oftentimes kids will repeat what they see. And so if they see us respecting authority, then they are more likely to be obedient and respect authority as well. So thank you guys for listening today. I am Desta Hudson in for Thurman, and he'll see you in 2 weeks.